You probably heard about Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours to master a skill. But does it also take you that much time to just acquire a skill for personal use? Welcome back to Book Notes, a series where I share notes and highlights from some of the books that I've read. Today, I'm going to share about The First 20 Hours, How to Learn Anything Fast by Josh Kaufman. This book taught me how to learn anything fast without spending 10,000 hours of practice. Sabi ni Malcolm Gladwell, you need 10,000 hours of intensive practice to achieve mastery of complex skills. Pero karamihan sa atin, we misinterpret that idea. If you want to become an expert at something, you want to be the best, or maging athlete, then you probably need 10,000 hours of intensive practice. It only applies if you want to develop expert-level performance sa mga competitions. However, if you want to learn or acquire a skill for personal use, then you only need 20 hours of practice. In just 20 hours, you'll be able to acquire a skill that you wanted to learn. And deliberate practice is the key. Para magawa yun, you need to learn the concept of rapid skill acquisition, which I will be sharing in this video. Rapid skill acquisition is a process, and it's a way of breaking down the skill you're trying to acquire into the smallest possible parts, identifying which of those parts are most important, then deliberately practicing those elements first. Based on this book, meron niyang 10 principles that you need to follow para ma-acquire yung skills na gusto mong matutunan. And the first principle is to choose a lovable project. Very straightforward tong principle na to. You just choose a skill na gusto mong matutunan. Think about the interest you have right now, or yung skill na makakatulong sa ginagawa mo ngayon. The more you love or like that skill, the faster you'll learn it. I'll give you an example all throughout the principles. I'll share din kung paano ko in-apply yung mga yon. So for this, I choose to learn juggling. Now that you have the skill na gusto mong matutunan, let's go to principle number 2, which is to focus your energy on one skill at a time. Minsan kasi we tend to multitask and learn multiple skills at a time. But it's a mistake to do that. Ang goal nga natin is to acquire a skill with just a small amount of time. If you try to acquire many skills at a time, maghahati din yung focus at yung oras mo. At the same time, pati yung energy mo will be compromised. You will spend too much time switching from one skill to another. Instead of having a rapid skill acquisition, baka slow skill acquisition yung magawa mo. So pick only one skill you wish to acquire. Principle number 3 is to define your target performance level. How can you say that you are now able to perform that skill? Or paano mo masasabi na na-acquire mo na yung skill na yon? Ito yung desired level of skills mo. Just a single sentence or description of what you are trying to achieve. When I tried to learn how to juggle, this is my target performance level.
My goal is to do this for 30 seconds straight.
Pag na-define mo na yung target performance level mo, it will be easier for you to figure out kung paano ka makakapunta dun. It depends sa iyo kung ano yung isiset mong target. The minimum requirement is if you become comfortable doing that skill. Wala namang standard level for this. If you want, pwede kang magkaroon ng different level, na pag nagawa mo na yung level 1, you can move on to targeting level 2, then level 3, and so on. Again, you're not aiming to become an expert or to compete for this skill. This is for your personal acquisition. Principle number 4 is to deconstruct the skill into sub-skills. All skills can be break down into small sub-skills or small parts. Pag na-deconstruct mo na yung skill into sub-skills, mas madali mong ma-identify yung most important sub-skill. And the most important or yung critical sub-skills, dun ka muna mag-focus. You'll make more progress with less effort. Learning juggling has different sub-skills, like learning how to catch, choosing the right object to juggle, environment awareness, concentration, practicing your hand-eye coordination, and many more. In my case, the critical part for me is practicing my hand-eye coordination because it will require me to look at 3 objects na kailangan kong saluhin with my 2 hands. So when I learned that, mas naging madali na sa akin i-practice yung mga mas madadaling sub-skills. You don't have to practice all parts at the same time. Focus ka lang sa goal mo. Focus ka lang rin muna sa critical sub-skill that can give you the most result. Principle number 5 is to obtain critical tools. May mga skills na kailangan ng certain tools for you to acquire that skill. Mahirap mag-juggle if wala kang i-juggle. Mahirap matuto ng basketball if wala ka namang bola. Gather the critical tools that you need. Also, may environment requirement ba kung saan ka lang pwede mag-practice? Like if you're going to practice tennis or badminton. Bukod sa dapat meron kang raketa, you also have to have a wider place. Identify mo yung mga tools na kailangan mo and obtain those tools before you start practicing. It will save you so much time. The next one is to eliminate barriers to practice. There will be distractions and challenges along the way na magpapahirap, and it can be in any form. As early as possible, eliminate those skills para maging smooth yung magiging practice mo. Isa na dyan is yung environment. Nasa tamang space ka ba to practice? Do you have enough space? Your gadgets. Make sure na naka-silent or nakatago during your practice time. Kasi baka pag may notification, hindi mo maiwasang tignan. And it will distract you from practicing your skill. Those kind of barriers makes it hard for us to practice. So identify and remove those barriers to support you when practicing. Principle number 7 is to make dedicated time for practice. Now, this is the time you start acquiring the skill. Don't find time but rather make time for it. Hindi naman kailangan na one whole day ka mag-practice. You just have to dedicate enough time every day. Whenever I start a new skill, I dedicate at least 1 hour of my time every day to practice. Minsan pag wala namang masyadong ibang ginagawa, mas mahaba yung time na inaalat ko. Sabi nga ni Josh Kaufman, the larger the dedicated time you can set aside, the better. Basta you commit to the 20 hours of practice. Hati-hatiin mo yun sa mga araw na kailangan mong mag-practice until you reach your target performance level. 8th principle is to create fast feedback loops. Fast feedback means, based on this book, getting accurate information about how well you're performing as quickly as possible. You have target performance level. That's the bigger goal. Dun mo malalaman if you already acquired the skill. But each practice, you need to know kung tama yung ginagawa mo to hit that bigger goal. Paano mo malalaman yun? As much as possible, you assess what you did and how you practice each day. That's why when I try to acquire juggling, I document myself every practice through videos. Pagkatapos ko mag-practice, papanoorin ko yung video if may mali or ano yung kailangan kong i-retain sa mga ginagawa ko. May time nga na because of that, nalaman ko agad na mali yung una kong focus to practice. Kaya nag-rearrange ako ng priority sa mga sub-skills. Dapat fast feedback, immediate, para maaga pa lang you can adjust. Maraming way to get fast feedback loops. You can have an accountability partner who can check on you habang nagpa-practice ka. Or you can also document yourself. The faster you can get feedback, the shorter it will take you to acquire a skill. The next principle is to practice by clock in short bursts. This is in connection with principle number 7. When you dedicate time, you practice by the clock. Like for example, you dedicate 1 hour of practice per day. Para hindi mo ma-feel na it's a long practice, try to divide it into 3 to 5 sessions with break. 20 minutes for the first session, then a 5-minute break, another 20 minutes for the second session, then a 5-minute break, lastly 10 minutes for the last session. That's a total of 60 minutes. I think mas sustainable siyang gawin compare sa 1 hour na sunod-sunod na practice. Pwede nga rin na during the 5-minute break, you give fast feedback agad para maka-adjust ka rin immediately. Then the last principle is to emphasize quantity and speed. Since you have a target performance level and yung goal mo is rapid skill acquisition, you focus on quantity and speed rather than perfection. When you focus on perfection, it's a recipe for frustration. Focus on practicing as much as you can and as quickly as you can because skill is the result of deliberate, consistent practice, and in early stage practice, quantity and speed trumped absolute quality. The faster and more often you practice, the more rapidly you'll acquire the skill. But of course, don't ignore yung other important things, like having a good form, lalo na if may physical actions or movements yung skill na pinag-aaralan mo. Kaya rin na unang principle yung deconstructing it into sub-skill and obtaining critical tools para una pa lang before you start, alam mo na yung kailangan mo. When you do it with quantity and speed, you can learn from your mistake faster, adjust faster, and you can rapidly acquire the skill that you wanted. So those are the 10 principles that will help you acquire a skill in the most efficient and effective way possible. Walang shortcut or magic to it. Hindi rin yan instant acquisition. Just a smart and strategic way of acquiring a skill that you care about. So if you want to learn more about how to learn anything fast, read The First 20 Hours by Josh Kaufman. But before that, let me know in the comment section, what skill do you want to acquire right now? So thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to watch other episodes of Book Notes and future episodes, you can check the playlist here. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!